Mud, mud, and more mud.
You guys have been professional now for quite some time, raced some mud races in the past. How does this one compare to, the Daytonas, the San Diegos, the Oaklands that you've raced in the past?
We've had so much rain just this afternoon. Right as the short qualifying practice started, it has made this track sloppy, muddy, slippery.
We're on a little bit of foam. Some guys running on the rear brake pedal. It keeps mud from packing into the fins of the radiators and having it overheat.
You have a tendency to want to put your hands out when you fall down. You got to keep your hands on the bars.
Oh,
now he's stuck.
McElrath's got problems. He's stuck, and there goes Cianciarulo. And this was just buried down to the swing arm. Look at that thing sunk.
Clutch
issues.
is done.
That's going to be the other big story here. Yep.
He's trying to adjust his clutch. There's a little adjustment up there by the clutch lever, and tries to get on the pegs and just goes into the tough blocks.
That's Nagy down on the 509. Get closer to its transfer spot into the main. There goes Baggett by. Tomac trying to rip around the out.
And Anderson's down
again. Well, Russell pulled his goggles off, but guess what? He made it into the main with the final transfer spot. Look at that.
Running third in this last chance qualifier, just slides the front wheel out.
It's almost like a glue down here. I mean, I can barely walk.
Oh, down goes Savacci.
Mud race like this, the electric start is a huge advantage.
And he's stuck. Look at the rear wheel, and the more he grabs the throttle, the deeper it goes into the mud.
On the track here tonight, feet out, he's having a great time.
Eric Plessinger wins one of the most challenging races of his career. He's here tonight. There it goes, belly flop time.
Yep, they're in the green, and
so
clutch
close
is
to
done.
The finish, trying to push it to the timing line. Chad Reed.
So the
timing is of smoke.
And another great racer would be the winner of this race, Eli Tomac. 6 wins for you so far this year.
Yeah, it was, I think, the slowest mud race I've been in ever.
The Dirt Diggers Motorcycle Club became the Mud Daubers MC as club members tried valiantly to drain their racetrack.
It's going to be real tough. I don't think it's going to be any different for a guy that's in second place than fourth place. He's going to have a guy in front of him throwing mud, and it's just a strong man's going to survive, the guy that goes out and rides the smartest.
Despite the misery and the slop, no more than the usual number of guys got tangled up. But in the end, it was Doug Henry who prevailed.
It has created treacherous conditions on this racetrack. Despite that, there are a huge number of fans on hand, and that put Brooks on hold temporarily as Jean-Michel Bale was able to squeeze in for the number 2 position. He's going to be in trouble in the championship points race. Look at the water as Mike LaRocco threads his way through what looks more like a mud bog than a motorcycle race, and Damon Bradshaw has come to a halt on the racetrack. And speaking of good times, do you think he's having one? I rather doubt it. His bike got away from him, and LaRocco heads toward that water crossing one more time today as they try to pull Jeff Ward's bike out. LaRocco is in trouble, and there are some other riders that are out of it. One of them is Jeff Stanton, rider number 1. He's going to take the checkered flag. John Dowd is going to win it, and indeed he does. And is he happy? You bet he is.
Seville, Spain, side of the opening round of THQ World Supercross GP. And unfortunately, it's been raining for about 4 days, which means the elements are going to play a big part in the winner of this race tonight. So any second now, the gate will drop, and there they go. And look, there you see, that looks like Steve Boniface. Actually, I take it back. Switches back, and there's a block pass. Hurley briefly took the lead. See that antifreeze running out. The bike is steaming. Oh, and now Hurley is stuck.
These bikes are carrying a good 40 extra pounds of mud at this point.
And now, look at that. Mike Brown, your leader, he is trying to get the kill switch taken apart. He's twisting his clutch out.
He's decided to negotiate to the side. Here is all 3 of your leaders.
Oh, and Tyler
is down.
And now it's New Zealand's Hurley with the win. He takes the checkered flag here in Seville, Spain. Holy smokes, Cameron, that was a tough race even for us.
And these are the days I really feel sorry for the mechanics, too. They got to get down and dirty.
Here at Mud's Creek, let's go racing in the 250 class.
Wow, that gate went down fast. What happened to the inside guys?
Well, they got clobbered, and everyone else in big trouble.
I think they're pulling the track. Yeah, you can see the gate did not drop or something.
Yeah, something was weird with it.
The 32nd board girl held up the sign, put it sideways, and then suddenly put it back up again, and the AMA official had to actually go out and tackle her and bring her to the side because the gate was about to drop. So just to make it fair for everybody, I think there's a lot of confusion that's going on with all the rain that's taking place out here right now.
Now, Dungy's got to be happy about where that went down because he was kind of buried, and now he's got a second chance.
And look at her, she's running. There we go, get out of her. She's got some Monster Energy drink. Powering her to the side. Here we go.
Then it's all cleared out.
Yes.
So you want to get the front wheel out of that. Keep your bike fresh.
Well, folks, we're only at the halfway mark. The cross flags are out. There's no mercy rule here.
Watch the water he's going to take on.
Oh, man.
That could end it right there. The airbox is under the seat.
That could be the championship right there.
Me too. I mean, they got 4-5 laps maximum.
Get that thing to the finish. Again, this guy's never won a moto before. He will win the overall as well. Metcalf's doing everything he can. They're going to leap downhill. Here goes the inside, David, and he's got it.
And then the race is shut down. The banks of the creek and pond in the middle of the facility had started to overflow. This race had to end, and that means Jake Weimer goes 2-1 in the day to win his third race of the season.
It's changed the track, but I tell you what, it's not going to change the racing, and if it does, it'll be more exciting.
Alex Martin, who's down to the inside. And going for it with McElrath. McElrath back up front, and somehow Hampshire survived getting blasted.
Goggles being thrown by riders. Just,
whoa!
Oh, and he stalled.
He stalled the bike, and that's going to put Cameron McAdoo to the lead. Can't get the Yamaha to refire. He's hitting the electric start button now, trying to get the bike to neutral. Alex Martin, oh no, he had climbed up to 5th, and he can't get his bike up.
It's getting, see what I'm saying? It's getting sticky, so it's like a suction cup now.
Gone down.
He's asking the doctor for some help. The doctor's like, unless you got an injury, bud, there's nothing I can do for you right now.
When the racetrack is bad, and remember, they do as much as they can to try to salvage the racetrack. They'll push mud off. Tomac's bike is steaming now. See that from Tomac's?
It's spluttering. You can hear it. Do you hear carefully?
And Tomac's bike has stopped.
It was spluttering. I was curious.
And he does not finish. Oh, Jeremy Martin almost down.
So we saw Ferrandis go around him. That bike was smoking heavily, and it quit.
And then he helps his buddy RJ Hampshire get unstuck. And Jeremy Martin, for the first time in over 2 years, is an overall winner. Marvin Muscan on that orange Red Bull KTM up front. Another rider down. Oh, he's closing on. He's going so fast, and he makes it. And then Osborne sideways, and Cianciarulo sideways. Oh, no, Tomac is stopped again. Zach Osborne wins Loretta's again.
Look at all that water splashing. You can see Ferrandis on the inside. Adam Cianciarulo tried to edge him out, wasn't able to. That's
Robin. Robin on the 194.
Positioned himself perfectly through that first corner.
We all got blasted in the front. I was riding blind around the first turn. It was pretty crazy. The conditions are brutal out there. It's definitely getting worse, too, since it doesn't rain anymore. It's starting to get heavy.
Not jumping, keeping his front end light and cross ruts. We talk about it a lot. And his rear wheel was in the other.
And he went down again. And a lot of people behind him struggling. Down goes a guy that was in second.
That's Ronnie Stewart there on your inside right there. He's down, picking his bike up.
Problems for a lot of guys. I mean, they're dropping like flies. Is that the
Mitchell
35?
Harrison?
Mitchell Harrison.
Normally, you're not allowed to have any assistance picking your bike up in a situation, a regular race situation, but...
He makes it all the way to survive to win here in San Diego. Dylan Ferrandis absolutely gutted, emotionally just crushed because he was running in third. The bike died. It was stuck 12 points out of the championship. The 51 goggles off. It looks like that Yamaha's going nowhere. Look at that. 3 grown, strong men trying to push that motorcycle through the mud, and they're struggling. But then Webb is down, and Chad Reed runs right into him. Cooper Webb might fall even further back. Or was it because Marvin stopped? Yeah, Marvin stumbled, and he locked up the brake because he thought he was going to go into him. And Cooper's off. Cooper continues off the course. There's Alex Ray. Oh, and Ray goes down. Tomac's got to get around him. And he loses more time. Checkered flag for Eli Tomac. His first win of 2019.
Prefer to stay dry and clean.
I think I'd rather be on the 4-stroke than behind it because I know it throws a pretty mean roost. Depends on how hard I ride, but usually a B+.
I'm sure Troy Lee Designs won't take credit for the artistic design. The gate is down for moto number 1. Hughes to the inside, and it's Albertine going down. Albertine holding his shoulder. He is very out of it. Whoa! Good. Hughes having trouble getting up the hill. No traction. Uh-oh, it looks like Greg Albertine is going to have a tough time continuing in the race with Jeremy McGrath in third. Doug Henry with the 4-stroke is down. And what a fan favorite he is here at Mount Morris. Off the track for Bradshaw. That's because he's a 3-time winner here.
The riders are pulling in to get goggles as the race goes on. We got tipped off. Here comes Damon Bradshaw.
Oh, that's smart. He wants his mechanic to hold the throttle so he can do it. Not sure what he's telling him, but boy, that's pretty quick. This place hasn't been good to Jeremy.
Oh, right now it's not good to Ezra Lusk. Lusk going down.
His hand's got to be full of mud. He's pulling off his glove.
That's what he's doing.
That adjustment.
Heath Voss looking like a plowman. Then they keep a closer look at that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lusk runs right in the back of Phil Lawrence. He had to be looking down. Ryan Hughes, the checkered flag. Look at that, Jeremy McGrath.
Couldn't even tell who that was until he swung back around.
Number 6, Larry Ward going through the lake. Entering this race, Ward wouldn't pick a favorite. Inches ahead. Coming down, and Bradshaw gets caught up in the water. Can Larry Ward get by him? Oh, look at that. Larry Ward, a great battle with Bradshaw. Larry Ward, number 6, who's led the entire race from the whole shot on. He knows that checkered flag is waving. Damon Bradshaw. What a moment for these fans that have stuck it out through this monsoon.
We both rode good. It was fun, and I'm damn glad I got a 2-week vacation coming up after this. If it weren't for these people, I'd have never done it.
What's happening with the Supercross Tour? You can find it certainly at supercross.cc.com. It's the official.
Well, it's just tough to find your lines in here, and you're going down in different sections. Right there, a very soft section.
And this
right
is the battle for second. Jay Marmon and Andrew Short. And unbelievable the way Marmon came flying off there. Andrew Short just clipped right in the front of the KTM of Marmon on the right. And look at this. I think we might have jinxed him as he comes through. Ivan Tedesco picks up the win, momentarily stalls the bike out. Paul Carpenter, the Kawasaki, had a great run, but he was shut down quickly. Oh, Ryder's down. Looks like Carpenter's down in the middle of the field. So Metcalf has found the field. That's when I say that. He comes up short there, Cameron.
Peel off to the right, maybe catching a little bit of rut. Mudline, and Metcalf is down here. Look at him. I'm not letting go of that throttle grip.
As we go to the 61, that's Josh Summey. And this bike, he tried to get it out. He tried to throttle it out.
Well, James got into these sand whoops, started going real hard and getting past Heath Voss. He gets tangled up at the end, comes across Voss, knocks him down.
James Stewart goes to the lead, and Jeremy in a very precarious situation right now.
What happened out there when you first went down?
I was an idiot. I want to hear it.
That was the coolest part. And then 103 in third, and then number 12 goes for it, and that one caused the problem. Carmichael blitzing in. Chad Reed can't believe it. And look at Chad go to the outside. He's going to go for the triple. Does it. Complete sellout, more than 45,000, and no one has left their seat.
James Stewart went down, and that is Jeremy Albrecht trying to get it up, and look at that. We talked about earlier. Well, I didn't pick him to win the race, but I picked him to do a lot better than he's doing now. Oh, and Carmichael's down. Does he keep the bike running is the question. He may need to drag it down, and he does. What do. Now Ricky's going to have to backtrack to spin the bike around. Oh, Carmichael goes down again. Commanding lead. We saw Wyndham go by. There's his mechanic. Mike Gosler looking on. Meanwhile, Chad Reed has found trouble of his own. And I'll tell you what, Ricky's words have proved prophetic, Cameron. So you just hope you can steer around him. Chad Reed now's got a smoking engine. He's got fluid just pouring out of the bottom of that thing. And is wound up in there, or if he's just got a bunch of mud. Now look at him. He's holding onto the motorcycle so he won't get mud on his hands. He's holding that clutch. This is a catastrophic problem. This is an absolute disaster for our defending champion, number 22, Chad Reed. Meanwhile, Kevin Wyndham has had the good fortune of being out in front after Ricky Carmichael built an almost surmountable lead, and Wyndham now runs into problems. He's saying he loaded him up with 18 tearaways. That's the helmet cam. That's the view Ricky's seeing. Oh, Carmichael goes down. Your winner from Anaheim, Kevin Wyndham.
And then with about 3 laps to go, I fell, and at that point I wasn't getting the pit board anymore. I was just out trying to do my own thing. I didn't even know I was in the lead because I was on the ground so long.
So it is anyone's game right here for the whole shot. Out front right now, and look at the riders with their head down, taking punishment. Oh, a tidal wave off of Cook's front wheel. Switchback section, New Zealander Mason Phillips with a decent start. Slip sliding, tires are just scrambling for traction. And Ryan Lockhart doing well right there, just tags a downed rider. Get the bike going again. Oh, he doesn't stall it. He keeps going. Oh, he pulls the goggles and stalls the bike.
That's number 220, Josh Schneider. Oh my goodness, now Gibson is over the bars as he runs into Schneider.
They just cannot get out of the way quick enough. Jean-Sebastian Waugh has got his front wheel axle deep. This is like that Erzberg World's toughest race. I'm telling you, we've made reference to that before. Waugh comes in for a goggle change. Look at that, Nathaniel Bosum's mechanic on the left helping out. He wants to get back. Look at this, our leader, Mitch Cook, soldiering away, singing and sagging through the hay bales. And this guy right now, people, first place.
We have a rider down at the side of the track, and now Marco Dubé runs. Oh, and he just gets caught front-footed and just maintains his balance.
At the last second, could you imagine? And look at this rider, Colton Fasciati, just doing 360s here. Can't even get going.
Didn't stall it. As we get back,
my Mitch Cook! Our leader goes down. He body rolls a flagger. Unlapped himself. Right. He's on the go. Our leader, that is Keast. He is down. No goggles on Keast. And there's fourth place. Steaming up big time in the Ocean Transport Suzuki Travs. We don't know if he can make it. And they've topped up his coolant in his radiators with a stalled right. And Mitch Cook, our leader, is down again on the last lap. And look at that steam. And Jean-Sebastian Waugh right in front of the spectator.
Look at Mitch Cook. He's got banners all over him. He's paddling through the deepest rut in that off-camber. There is 2 off-cameras there, Brian, and they are both difficult.
Oh my goodness.
Look at Cook's bike.
And I can see the beer flowing in Belgium right now as George Job celebrates.
Absolutely brutal. I mean, you could barely make it around the track. It's just mud so deep.
Brian, we've got a situation developing here. The MX2 riders and teams have some concerns about the track and whether they should actually run this moto.
Wow, you can see the stress on the face of CMRC president and founder Mark Stollybrats, not pleased that the riders are voicing concerns about the track and safety issues.
But look at this. The riders are protesting. They're signing a petition. The riders and teams do not want to race. Brian, check this out. The CMRC has decided to run what they're calling a good times moto. Show up on the line, race for the total purse, no points. 6 riders out on the track, and look at Davey Frazier blast through and get that Royal Distributing Horse. Yeah.
Tonight is going to be a messy one, and only the strongest are going to survive. Guys?
Oh, without question, Aaron. It's an absolute mess out there tonight, but it's going to be fun to watch. Oh, Klatt's stuck. Dusty Klatt is stuck to the right there. He was our leader, and another rider just went down. That's Davey Millsaps. Bobby's going to take the win. And then maybe crash. But at that point, it's safe. He's going straight to the main.
It's kind of similar what I raced in Brazil, you know, and I just got a good start and I got by K-Dub, but I couldn't believe. I'm so happy.
Chad Reed here, you see him working his way through.
And the problem's here as well.
And that's McDade, who actually was running third. Bike gets stuck.
He goes in between the track there. Oh, he goes over the berm, too.
Over the berm, through the top blocks.
That will be amazing for Kennard.
Down again!
Oh, man, he falls down again by the mechanic's turn.
Now he has not won yet. Now Kennard has got it, and he is in.
Kennard's down. He missed the rut there with his front end.
Now where is Villapoto?
Oh, he kept the bike running though. Seems like the four strokes had a, have a tendency to overheat a little bit more, run a little hotter in the mud. Here goes Kennard. Here we go, Kennard chunking him. Okay. Oh man, he needs to stay out of the wet conditions like that if he can. I know it's kind of hard, but
he's going to take a checkered flag, his third of the year. He has done it. Trey Kennard wins the Daytona Supercross by Honda.
Oh, Reed gets pinched off on the inside there. He probably started on the inside.
He's the one that really is hoping to capitalize on something this weather, changing something in the championship. He sees Chad Reed up front. He's going to do everything he can.
Continuing to battle.
Oh, here we go. Reedy going to the outside. Oh, he gets stuck.
Wyndham is stuck. He can't get it going. He's sucking.
There he goes. He's got it back going, guys. He stalled the bike, got sucked into the deep conditions.
Chad Reed is off the bike again, the leader.
And the engine is off. He got the bike in neutral. He's trying to restart it. He dropped it in the water.
There's Wyndham again. Look at him. Look.
He's going to come on one side.
He can't. I don't know if he can do that.
He took quite a bit of an advantage there.
Yeah.
That's going to be questionable.
That's a gray area right there.
When he hits the water hole. And,
Kevin Wyndham's pulling in for goggles.
Going for goggles. Down goes Davey Millsap.
Look at that deep hole. You just go there and you don't even know it.
Look at his face in there, Ricky.
I mean, that is just grit and
so much focus
and kind of
outside.
Look at that bike. What I think in this situation, you just try to pick the bike up. I don't know if that's Travis Preston or who.
Have you ever seen Cadillac Ranch in Texas? Yeah, it was like Cali Ranch. He rides through injured. Look at this. They're going to bury this thing.
This guy, he's just having fun with it now, I think.
This is incredible. You see the back tires over here a little bit.
Look how deep it is, you guys. I mean, that is crazy.
It will be his 33rd Supercross victory.
No, is this?
Oh, no!
2 turns to go.
Chad Reed's bike going up in smoke. Where's Wyndham?
Behind.
Look at the frustration.
He's done.
There he goes.
There he
Kevin
goes.
Wyndham just passed him.
Does he know he's winning?
He's on his way to his first Daytona Supercross by Honda win.
The battle of attrition.
One of the most incredible finishes in the history of Supercross as Kevin Wyndham sloshes his way to victory.
Ooh.
That is the longest walk you will ever see.
Man,
so disappointing with 3 turns to go. The bike gives out on him after that epic battle that he put on.
There's Preston's bike getting pulled out.
Man, just so wet and so nasty, and man, just kept my head down, kept plugging away, and I was glad to make it. It was a truly treacherous course tonight.
The rain barely stopped falling all weekend during the Motocross of Nations. Foxhill, normally one of the best circuits on the World Championship calendar, was turned into a swamp. Having survived the terrible mud so far, the Spaniard made a mistake in the final corners. American Doug Henry was the man who finally made it to the checkered flag in first place. Don't run away. In a minute, we have the final 2 heats in the Motocross of Nations. See you in a minute. Trouble, which wasn't the case for his teammate Cap's #1, who clashed with the Slovak Vucenic. Italian Alessandro Puzar only survived 4 laps. Frenchman David Villemain was held up after clashing with Czech rider Cepolak. Here, Pete Vera has to turn round and try again before he can progress. David Villemain fared less well and was forced to retire after this clash with Dowd, with his exhaust broken. Stefan Everts claimed the Heat 2 win by a technical knockout. The Belgian had been over 1 minute ahead when the race was stopped. Eckenbach lost precious time restarting on the next lap. Stefan Everts was the key to the win, proving yet again that he's one of the quickest motocrossers in the world. As Marnik Beverts arrived at the finish line, the team exploded with joy. Belgium had claimed its 12th motocross of nations.
I'll tell you, within one lap, this looks like a completely different racetrack. It looks like we're at a completely different venue. You can see all the standing water already.
Here we got a little more attrition as Ryan Sipes on his Suzuki is trying to get it fired, no pun intended. He needs an extinguisher. Light that thing, would you?
Seattle, and he's never really liked the mud, and it shows right now.
Yeah, and not only that, as we take a look at Troy Adams here having problems on the 323 Monster Energy bike. And yeah, look at that. He is just stuck. Can't find a place to park? Well, just sit it in a rut. Just tiptoeing down the hill. Keep it up on two wheels. Don't park it. He goes past the number 323 machine of Adams there. It finally just keeled over on its own. And he even got a little bit of air, and he gets docked to position. Ryan Villapoto going to the mechanics area. He's supposed to go. He didn't pull in. They're supposed to do that service, so they had to clip the wire there.
Yeah, growing up in Pennsylvania definitely worked to my favor. You know, we had the Bridgestone tires and Makita Suzuki, and the RG3 suspension was just dialed for the dry and the wet out there. You know, it was just a perfect combination, and I'm glad I could finally get one under my belt.
Well, things are different than they were a few minutes ago, as some fans are doing their imitation of an otter. Aaron Bates to explain what happened.
A downpour came down. These guys are dealing with probably a foot of mud. As you can see, they're digging out a hole, trying to get themselves some traction to get a good start. New set of gloves. You can barely hold on to the grips. Tough luck here at Millville for Chad Reed.
Has come to an end, at least for the time being.
Oh, Villeman's got another sweet line, just inside everything.
Seems to have noticed it, except Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael coming up behind Reed, who stopped to get fresh gloves and goggles. And there he is. We're used to seeing James going way faster than that as he comes up behind Chad Reed's bike that's stuck in the mud. And now Stewart is going to join him. So the number 2 and number 3 motocross riders in the world have just sort of parked it together and can only look on in frustration. Now, Ricky Carmichael has just avoided almost all of those problems. Look at this. What a comedy. Here comes Villeman. He manages to shoot through a gap that has also now collected Jason Thomas on the 31. Villeman gets a standing O for that move. The thrill of victory. Well, you take him where you can. Where is James Stewart? Don't go in there. Do not go in there. So Stewart trying to find some way to get moving, and Ricky Carmichael's lead is just growing and growing. What a mess! Look at this!
Hey, we need some circus music.
Absolutely. Some Three Stooges sound effects. What, you know, Stewart's getting some help, and they can't even stand the bike up. Oh, I hate to laugh at the misfortune of others, but you know what? This is slapstick.
Wiping the grips. That's going to be problems.
You know,
that is not legal to get outside assistance.
So Carmichael has lapped the entire field here in Millville. There is no joy in Millville today for anybody but Ricky Carmichael.
That's been Villeman's. He's still doing the jumps. Someone needs to hit this kid on the head and tell him to chill out.
Well, he's just having fun out there. And Ricky Carmichael is taking it all. He's going to stop and enjoy this one. Well, he got a little error with the front wheel over the finish jump.
And he sets another record, lapping second place.
The 1987 Motocross Donations. As you can see, conditions at the 87 event were deplorable. Before things could get sorted out, there was a pileup in the first corner. The mud had already taken its first victims. That's Davey Strivos trying to pick up his bike in the slippery Unadilla mud. Strivos was the leader in the 125 class. Rider number 3, American Bob Hanna, is currently running 4th in the 125 class. That's Davey Strivos, the 125 rider from the Netherlands. He was leading the 125 class, but Unadilla's favorite son, Bob Hurricane Hanna, took over. Sometimes you can try too hard Boulevard. Gabors went down. Johnson took the checkered flag in Moto number 2. He won the 250 class and was the overall Moto winner. A little further back, Bob Hanna won the 125 class. The ride by Hanna on a 125 in the mud was one of the greatest exhibitions in motocross history. With his fist in the air, Johnson clutched the U.S. victory in his hand. Ward held his position as requested, and the fans were rewarded with the sweet victory.
The mechanics are going to have their hands full tonight in these bikes.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to go racing. This life is green. It will be brown here in a moment. Is that Hewitt? Hunter Hewitt?
That might be Hewitt.
Listed in
Hewitt's
20th
that's right.
Yeah,
now.
it is Hunter Hewitt.
Oh,
Track is gnarly. It's going to be tough all night. Hopefully this rain holds off a little bit, but it's brutal.
How about the fans for Monster Energy Supercross? Boy, are they a hardy bunch.
oh, Labor goes down.
Oh, down they go. 2 down now.
All conditions, but we also want to be safe and we want to keep everybody racing as well.
I see 831 is Smith, who is down.
On a 2-stroke.
A 4-stroke survives much better in these sort of conditions. Well, listen to that sound, guys.
Yeah. Looks like it is Alessi smoking out there. Stewart.
Oh, and Alessi gets in there.
Villapoto gets taken wide by Alessi and get back after Stewart. Oh, and Alessi steps on.
He just made a lot of work for himself right there.
He didn't need to necessarily follow through.
Whoa! The guy did a reverse knack-knack in a corner.
It's gnarly, man. It's one of the gnarliest mud races. Maybe Anaheim 1, 2005 was pretty bad, but I couldn't believe how bad it was. It was pretty gnarly. So
look at that.
Oh, man.
Oh, he goes for a tear-off.
Right into it, and he sinks it. Gerke having his problems, and Kyle Gerke was battling for a transfer, and now he's out of it. Oh, problems here. Look at this. This is Barcia's teammate, Bogle. Look at that bike just sunk in the mud, and he's just going to have to leave it there.
Yeah, he can't do anything there.
Watch
This
him.
is when things don't go your way.
Whoa.
Bam.
They're in front of these guys. Oh! Barcia with the scrub.
Wow. Listen to he's revving that bike.
He was trying to get to the inside of...
Villapoto's problems continue. He cannot get on the bike and then face plants.
And then he makes another little mistake, gets on the throttle, almost saves it, wrestles it down again. He's coming past the mechanics area.
Oh, man.
Wow. What? Is in 5th, and just behind him is Tickle, just behind him is Weimer, and Villapoto just behind Weimer. So
James Stewart wins it for the Joe Gibbs Toyota Yamaha team as James Stewart charged towards a battle for the title kicked off here at Daytona. Well, we shouldn't have any weather issues inside the dome next week in Indianapolis. Lucas Oil Stadium hosted the